Hello, this is Thomas O. Mills. This is a video about what the serpent at Serpent Mound is really telling us. There's no widely agreed upon date where the Serpent Mound was constructed. Some radiocarbon dates go back as far as 320 years before Christ. We do know by observation that Serpent Mound marks the winter and summer solstice and the equinox. We know that the said snake's head points to the summer solstice sunset, which is also the winter solstice sunset. These same events are also designated at pyramid complexes in Egypt, Stonehenge, pyramids in Mexico, Chaco Canyon, and many other sites around the world. If you were to mark those events on an illustration, on a picture of Serpent Mound, you actually see that the winter solstice, if you mark the winter solstice back to where the equinox is, the summer solstice back to where the equinox is, and the path of the sun, and the north and south directions, it would form the life symbol, the key to life symbol in Egypt. It's our short window where we can survive on Earth between the winter and summer solstices. This tilt we have, the Earth's 23.5 or 23.4 degree tilt. What the tilt is created by the Earth is at this tilt, this 23.4 degree tilt. If you look at the North Pole, where it actually is now, that forms the ecliptic path where the constellations are. They rotate counterclockwise. We rotate counterclockwise through the constellations during the precession of the equinox. And the celestial path is where the North Pole would be with the tilt. So where these two paths cross out in outer space two times, they actually determine which age we're in. We're entered this age of Pisces that we're in back on March 20th, minus 60 years before Christ. We will enter the age of Aquarius on March 20th, 2100. So we rotate counterclockwise through these 1 degree every 72 years. And it's determined by where these two paths cross, how we determine the age. So on your ecliptic path, you have the 12 constellations. And on the celestial path, you have Canis Minor, Orion's dog, Orion, and the Pleiades. So where these two paths cross determines where we are in the next age, which age we are in. So here you'd have like Orion's spear would hit the navel of the bull, Taurus, at a certain point in time. This is designated in many murals in Egypt. So you go back to Serpent Mound, not only does it show those events, but it shows the moon's minimum and maximum stopping and starting points. The moon travels back and forth in this 18.6 year cycle, 9 years and a quarter each direction. And it also shows the setting points and rising points of the moon through that starting and stopping point. Our climates, our seasons, our ice caps, weather patterns, storms, jet streams, temperature, tides, sea levels are all affected by the moon's orbit. It's the tool, that keeps the Earth balanced between these two paths, the ecliptic and the celestial. So the water that is flooding our cities all around the world and causing sea levels to rise all came from our melting polar ice caps. Scientists predict that by the year 2100, both of our polar ice caps will be melted. This is also the year that we will enter the new age of Aquarius. So the moon, in its rotation, is at an angle of 5.2 degrees. It takes 27.3 days to complete this circle, and it's at 5 degrees. So it doesn't rotate straight across like the ecliptic path. It's more like the celestial path. It's on a different plane than our plane. Both the Earth and the Moon rotate counterclockwise. In India, the Hindu people have known about this ascending and descending nodes of the Moon's orbit for centuries. The ascending mode is called Raha and is associated with the direction north, and it's associated with the head of a snake. The descending mode is called Ketu and is associated with the south and the tail of a snake. So the only time you can have an eclipse is when the moon's paths intersect with the ecliptic path of the Earth, with our balanced path with the 12 constellations. So this is a little better picture of it. This 5-degree tilt. You can see the moon ascending, and it's going to, when it crosses that plane, that's when the snake will eat the sun, and we'll have an eclipse. When it's descending, it's just the opposite. So on average, we have 2 solar eclipses each year and 2 lunar eclipses per year. That varies sometimes, but the moon's 5.2-degree orbital path creates this effect and divides it up. The total eclipses only happen when the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic path of the Earth. If there was no tilt, we would have eclipses every 27 days if the moon orbit was flat. Where these 2 paths cross going up is called the ascending mode, and where it's going down is the descending mode. So here's a little better picture of it from YouTube. There's a lot of videos out there about Rahu, and if you would like to research it, you can look and find a lot more better videos than this, but I'm just trying to give you the basics. So it's important that the creator of Serpent Mound built this information into the site. When will the moon be on the extend into Rahu and create a total solar eclipse, just like at Serpent Mound, where the serpent is eating the sun? Well, the main solar eclipse that'll happen in the year 2100 will happen on March 10th, and there will be ascending solar eclipse as the moon will cross the ecliptic path and the snake of the head will eat the sun. March 20th, 10 days later, the celestial path will cross the ecliptic path, and we will shift from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. So it's very important. In Egypt, I think this is one of the most important murals in Egypt. It has our life symbol, the key to life symbol, what we were talking about, the winter and summer solstice, north, south, east, and west, standing on what some people say is a backbone, and it's the center path of Earth. So here's our life symbol, but it has 2 human hands holding the moon. So this tells me that the creator of this mural was trying to tell us that it's in our human hands, and he's trying to give us this date. There's not a single person that plants or harvests on December 21st, the winter solstice. Also, no one plants or harvests on June 20th, the summer solstice. The winter and summer solstice are all about the Earth's tilt, the ecliptic and the celestial paths. Here's another mural in Egypt that shows basically the same thing. You got 2 paths leveled and balanced up on top with the 12 constellations, the sun and the moon, and then there's 2 paths that cross, the 2 snakes cross. So Serpent Mound is not showing us when a snake is eating an egg. It's showing us the moon eating the sun, an eclipse on the ascending mode. If these 2 events, the celestial path crossing the ecliptic path and the moon's path crossing the ecliptic path, mark an exact point in time, March 10th through March 20th in year 2100. If there's no eclipse at that time, then we'll know that our paths are out of balance. That's why all these ancient sites show these events. As the moon goes up and down across the ecliptic path of Earth, it resembles a snake or dragon wobbling back and forth. This could be the reason why Serpent Mound was created using a symbolic snake. Many ancient sites all around the world depict the Earth and Sun and the Moon, just like the ancient mural showing just like this ancient mural showing an ancient snake or dragon balanced on Earth between the sun and the moon. Their two paths crossed at the neck. They are not standing on an egg. It's the Earth, the sun, and the moon. These same events, Serpent Mound, represent the Earth, the sun, and the moon. This photograph is from a book, The Dragon of Lunar Nods and Ecliptic Points. So the lunar nods are not planets. They are indeed points in space indicating the intersections of two orbits, the points where the orbit of the moon crosses the ecliptic. If you were just to take your compass out to Serpent Mound and mark these events, you would find the same thing. The summer solstice is at 60 degrees, comes down to the center. The winter solstice is on March 21st at the 120, and the equinox in between would show your north-south balanced paths of the Earth, when the Earth is half daylight, half sunlight. The small circle in the center of your compass, if you tilt it, it shows the tilts of the Earth and when we're in balance or when we're not in balance. So the path of the sun would go from 60 to the 120 and back, and that would show 1 year of time. The path of the sun hits the winter solstice December 21st, and 4 days later, on December 25th, it starts back to the summer solstice. Same way it waits and comes back. So it's the time of new birth, rebirth. So for your compass to show a longer point of time, you would have to wobble it back, vibrate it back and forth very fast, and it would show like a snake. You could determine how many wobbles it would take to make the 25,920 years or the 2,160. It would be on your compass. Each one of these divisions, the 30, the 60, the 20, the 120, all of them are represented by a constellation. There is an extra constellation, a 13th constellation, and it's a man bringing a snake bearer, which I believe represents this time period we're talking about. So at Chaco Canyon, whoever built Serpent Mound probably built Chaco Canyon. These same events are all marked on two serpents behind three slabs balanced up on top of a butte that the sunlight comes in from above and hits these serpents and shows winter solstice, summer solstice, the equinox. The moonlight comes in from the bottom and shows its maximum or minimum cycle. So whoever taught these ancient civilizations about Earth's tilt and the winter and summer solstice, the equinox, the moon cycles, and the nodes, eclipses, and constellations must have had a very good reason to do it. Why go to all the trouble at multiple sites all over the Earth? We have to start looking at these sites as if someone with greater knowledge created them, someone who is trying to tell us something about the future. How would someone 320 years before Christ know about the eclipse, the ecliptic celestial moon's paths in space, and figure out a system, how to tell us when these three paths would cross on March 20th, 2100, unless they had something to do with designing the system. These ancient sites, the pyramid complex in Egypt, Stonehenge, pyramids in Mexico, and Chaco Canyon, are all interlactically connected to Earth's rotation and the winter and summer solstice and the positions of the moon and the sun in our orbit. They highlight the delicate balance of our existence in space and how fragile our survival on Earth truly is. Now we find out that the creator of these sites also knew about the moon's tilt and the nodes back and forth across the Earth's ecliptic path like a snake. How would anyone know about these events unless they knew about the star charts, orbital planes, the Earth and the moon's tilt, our location in space, and the precession of the equinox? So here we are floating in space, watching as our moon drifts away from us ever so slightly, and our polar ice caps are melting. Our seasons are changing. Earth's speed of rotation is slowing down, and our planets are as hot as hot tubs. Our oceans are as hot as hot tubs. Forests burn, rain and hurricanes flood our towns almost every day, somewhere on the planet. So I think if we could find a way to bring the moon back to its original orbit, many of these problems would be solved. Earth's rotation could speed up cooling the planet, the polar ice caps would reform on the poles, and the weight of the ice would stabilize the Earth. Ocean levels would decrease, and weather patterns and seasons would return to normal. So it's in our human hands. So that's what the serpent at Serpent Mound is telling me. It doesn't have anything to do with a snake eating an egg. Thank you for listening. Thomas O. Mills.